easily 3-star Dragon Cliffs in 3 attacks. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Vatho Gaming, and today I'm going to show you how to easily beat the Dragon Cliffs in the clan capital. Stay tuned. Alright, now let's start off with the Dragon Cliffs attack, and as you can see, if you're the first attacker in the clan, you have to do the following things. First of all, this strategy is divided upon 3 different parts, and the first step is to gradually take out those key defenses with your sneaky archers, and also to lure out a couple of those super dragons, and the more of them you kill in the first attack, the better. And as you can see right here, you just gradually drop and place those sneaky archers and battle rams to open up the new compartments to get closer to the super dragons. And for example, we have 2 remaining super dragons right there and 1 to the very far left side. And what you can also do is to bring a couple of zap spells and free the dragons that are a bit too far off from your entry point, and this way you can have a chance at taking them out in the first and the second attack. The key thing is that you take out all dragons with those 2 attacks. If you don't, you're gonna have a big problem later on, and that's something that you really do not want to. And as you can see right here, we only had 2 dragons left, and since they were super close to our entry point, I only took a couple of archers, so this way I can spare a bit of space in my army composition, and I decided to take on a couple of Hog Raiders and use the Graveyard Hog strategy, which I also have linked on the top right corner. And it worked out kind of okay. I could have put the Graveyard spell at a better location, so it could distract the blast bow a bit better. But other than that, it's still okay, and if you take 2 or 3 attacks for the Dragon Cliffs, that's awesome. You don't really want to take more attacks for that, because it's kind of wasted potential. And with this strategy, I think you're pretty good off in finishing it with 3 attacks. I tried to do it in 2, but yeah, it's kind of difficult. But it's possible, and maybe in the next video I'll try and do that to 2-shot at Dragon Cliffs. Also, this Dragon Cliffs district doesn't have the last super dragon unlocked, so maybe it's a bit easier, but it's also not completely maxed out, as well as my offense. It's also not completely maxed out, so in that case it's kind of balanced, but I think it would also be kind of similar to the strategy, because you can always take a couple of zap spells and then just zap the last remaining super dragon huts. And yeah, as you can see with the last attack, all you have to do is just use the Graveyard Hog strategy and you're pretty much good to go and win. I also spared a couple of battle rams, so I get a couple of extra bonus clan capital gold points, and that's it for this. Yep. Mostly spaced out Dragon Cliffs. Now we have different Dragon Cliffs where the core base is kind of engraved into those cliffs to the left side, and all the other space is kind of left out. So in that case, you want to approach it the same way, basically for every kind of Dragon Cliffs. It doesn't really matter what base layout they have. It might be a bit trickier if it's everything just at the back, because it's a bit further away, but it should still be kind of the same approach with this strategy. And if we speed up, you can also bring a rage spell alongside with the zap spells to make the archers a bit stronger. And by the way, I just zapped this dragon post right here, so this super dragon can slowly but surely be lured out to this entry point. And yeah, now we go on to the second attack. And what you can also see here, if you see that 2 dragon posts or houses are standing close to each other, you can abuse that and just zap them away. By the way, we already killed that dragon, so it's not really that effective anymore. But it's a nice thing to watch out for the flaws in your enemy base. And if you can do that, then it will look like this. And since we have a couple of buildings like on top of here, we can just perfectly lure the super dragons. And I would also suggest maybe bringing a couple of Inferno dragons if you can lure those super dragons out to where no defenses are, because that makes it a bit easier to kill them. Although I have to say, I kind of messed up the targeting of my Inferno dragons, because I placed them at the wrong height, and I thought that my battle rams would go to this wall right there and not to the one down here. So that's where my mistake was. So maybe just test it out with a test battle ram or something, but be sure that you pretty much know where they're going to go, so you don't end up with the thing that I had to do, where I had to spam a couple of more battle rams and archers to take it off. Because initially I wanted to take the archers to snipe a couple of other buildings standing around, but if a super dragon is still alive, I have to take the chance and get him as fast as possible. But after that is done, I pretty much placed the remaining spells, I think. Yeah, the rage spells should come into the middle. Yeah, as you can see, I dropped it a bit too late. And I think this second stage could be executed a bit more better if I looked at it more carefully. But anyways, that's about it. In the end, you can also see that I just waited until those remaining troops maybe take out 2 of those thatched huts. I think that's what they're called. And yeah, in the end, you're not really left out with lots of stuff. Maybe the blast bow is still an issue, but as you can see, you can also just pick up a couple of sneaky archers in the end, like I did here. And if they're like under rage, they are pretty good at it, at like taking down key defenses. And yeah, I also have the graveyard spell active, but it didn't really do that much because it's just the archers right now. And yeah, I mean, with the blast bow gone, you only have a couple of defenses, maybe the super wizards that are good against the graveyard, but not against graveyard hogs. So yeah, I would recommend using either that strategy or the graveyard wizard strategy if you want to do this one with your finishing off attack, which is also linked at the top right corner right here. And yeah, you just look at it and it's just complete destruction. It's pretty OP, and I think if you follow this guide and mostly do the steps I told you to do and not 100% as I did, then you should be pretty good off and finish off those pesky and little annoying dragon cliffs. I hope this video made you become better in the clan capital, and if you liked it, leave a like, comment what you think of maybe different strategies that would be better, and see you in the next video. Clash on!